Hey everyone, welcome back to Death Must Die's Act 3. So today we're going to jump on Avaron here for a Darkness 100 build. This one is going to use one of my favorite uniques in the game, the Desert Rose. Whenever a minion or elite hits you, it dies. So we are going to use a pretty tanky setup. I'll show you the gear in a second, but I'll go over here into the skill tree first. Going to go for Hardened Steel for armor, Bulwark for damage reduction, Stoicism for life, Holy Restoration to heal more. We're taking the Olam's Well of Knowledge for more expert offers. Taking Consecration to buff up our power damage a bit. I've also gone for Champion. This will buff up our attack damage, which will allow us to get more Consecration as well. Gone for Austere Training because on the setup we have here, we have very low, normal base damage. Then I've just gone for the rerolls and stuff over here with a tiny bit, the one extra point when it went into the power damage there. So the main gimmick of the build is we are going to use the Desert Rose. So the whole build is basically to take advantage of this. We are going to pair it with Equilibrium. So when we get hit, we gain increased heal, regen, and life steal. We're going to also combine it with Big Head for the big armor boost. The Amulet of the Pariah, which is another damage reduction boost by 20%. I'm going to use Mausoleum of Eyes on this one, so we can't be offered Master Blessings, but we get the huge experience gain increase. So 60% here, we have negative 30 over here. So at the end of the day, I think we're sitting at, where is it? We're sitting at 36%, which it is pretty good. You know, we're not going to be able to take the Master offers, so we are going to go for Expert. And as you can see, I've got 30% Expert offers, so that should be enough to get what we need. Now, we do need a little bit of life regeneration on this build, so I've actually put it on the belt here. Now, if you can get life regen somewhere else on the gear, you could sub out a different belt, but that's the one we're going to use for the build here. Now, the gloves is just for some extra armor and life. Don't really have a great tier 3 gloves for this character, so that's what I'm using. I've also thrown some thorns on here to try and take advantage of the extra power damage that we're going to get. And just to help out with the final boss, really, to make that go a little bit quicker. We're also going to use the Hobgoblin on this build. So it gives us some movement speed, attack damage, and also increases our attack damage by a percentage of our movement speed. So as you can see, we have almost 400 movement speed, and that's giving us over 300% attack damage to go in there with. So this is the main place we're getting our damage from in the build here, aside from, obviously, we're going to be killing things that hit us, right? As you can see, our offensive damage is pathetically low over here. It's because this thing has only 16%, and we're literally not getting any from any other parts of the build here. We are going to use the red, blue, green ring. So, guys, this build is super fun. It's a bit of a gimmick type build, to be honest, but it is super fun. Just before we get into this one, guys, most people watching the channel at the moment are not subscribed. It would mean the world to me if you help us get to our 1,500 sub goal. We're actually getting pretty close, so that is awesome. Thanks to everyone who's been tuning into the Death Must Die content. So, yeah, this build is, I mean, it's super fun. It's definitely gimmicky, right? I mean, you do have to have enough tankiness to be able to survive getting hit by, you know, most of the things, so which is makes it kind of interesting. Okay, Summer, you know, she's got some interesting choices. I think we'll just try for Justice if we can get her. Okay, we got Force over here, which isn't too bad. I'm going to take Force. So Force is interesting. It is a power. We are not going to be killing from super far away, though. So yeah, I don't know how much damage we'll get out of Force, but getting extra pull range is going to be really helpful here because we have such low pull range on the build. See if we can get Justice now. Okay, here she is. We want to get rid of the shield. We don't care for that. We want to get rid of the sword as well. We want to roll her. Gonna get rid of that. Retribution, but it's only a low level one there. Let's roll. Okay, Radiance. And it's not what I want. We could just take the Merciful right here. Why don't we take Merciful? It's pretty useful. Being able to decrease the incoming damage from the bosses and you know, the elite enemies can be pretty nice. So in terms of the Desert Rose, there is one enemy on the map that can spawn that it seems to not work with, and that is aside from the main bosses, obviously, and that is the big the tanky guy who has like a javelin and a big shield. Okay, Frost Ring is alright, but we don't have luck, so it's not really that good for what we're doing. Let's roll her. Okay, we could just take Devotion here because we want a lot of Justice, so we'll do that. Okay, early damage node, excellent. Yeah, we also do have relatively low damage percentage on our gear setup here, so anything that'll help boost up our damage will be nice here. We're getting pull range though is not too bad. We'll do that. Yeah, our pull range is pretty bad. If we can manage to get it a bit higher, maybe this force will be a bit more useful, but we're not really going to be killing from super far away. That's the thing. So, you know, force is just for me to be able to collect all the gems without having to worry about it, so we can still level up as we go. The second and third god on this sort of build really is up to you. I mean, if you want to go Master and Legend offers instead of the Mausoleum, you could definitely take Cromboy for extra damage if you want to roll for God of War, right? But a lot of the gear slots here are at a premium, and the Desert Rose does not have any, you know, ults or rerolls or anything, so you're kind of stuck with limited rolling on this sort of build, but it's okay. There has to be some kind of downside for being able to insta-kill most of the enemies when they touch you, right? Okay, time's back. I might just ult away here. Summer. We never ended up taking Summer. Okay, she's giving us Fury here, though. I'm not opposed to taking more attack speed on the build, just to help out with some extra boss damages as we go. Okay, yeah, so this is very much a tank build, right? Avaron's an interesting character in this game. A lot of the other characters have mostly like DPS type setups, or, well, I don't know. Maybe that's not 100% true, because someone like Skadi in the current patch, at least with my current medium armor gear, does not feel very strong. But I have had a few commenters recently telling me they had some luck playing with Skadi using the heroic training, so we might get around to trying that at some point. We'll go Fury again. I did mess around a little bit today, but I didn't, yeah, I couldn't quite get the build I was working on really cooking at Darkness 100. It wasn't feeling super consistent, and the later waves were really messing Skadi up. Just too much too much crowd control for poor little Skadi, right? It was actually those javelin wielders that were kind of being a real menace. If you don't have super high armor value and damage reduction, they can do a lot of DPS to you very quickly. Yeah. Well, with that being said, we'll keep going here. What do we got? Necrocomicon, whatever it's called. Yeah, we'll take the max life since we only have like 140 we came in here with, which is pretty bad. Hey, buddy. Okay.
Where to?
Hey, Aisa, do you want to give me the hero's journey? We'll take it. It's only white, but we'll take it. We want damage. Speaking of damage, we want damage. Okay.
Without time.
All right, Justice. Come on, give us retribution here. One more. White level. It's pretty disappointing, to be honest with you, Justice. I have 30% expert offers, and what do? You insult me. That's right, this build does not require you to take, like, master level blessings and all that sort of stuff, right? The whole idea is that we get hit, and that boosts our healing rate, so we can just out tank and out heal absolutely everything.
All my family.
Okay. Summer again. I'll just keep going on Fury when it shows up there. So what do we want to help out with the boss damage here? I mean, really getting our merciful attack leveled up a bit more is going to help. That will boost our power damage a bit too. So grabbing a power would be really nice here. Okay, we'll keep going. +5 attack damage, not too bad. Yeah, so Avaron, yeah, most of his skill tree is pretty much like tank stats, right? I mean, he does have, oh, we could take Piety here too. That's pretty nice. Yeah, most of his skill tree, he's got like armor, life, damage reduction, blocking, you know, chance to revive, all that stuff, right? In terms of damage output, he only really has attack and the consecration for power. Well, he has a little bit extra power damage down the bottom too, to be fair. So, yeah, so attack and power is his sort of damage output. We can do another power build at some point. We can take some powers on this build too. We have taken Force and Retribution thus far, so yeah, we'd like to see Justice show back up a bit more. Man, the amount of debuffs coming at us in this game can be pretty crazy sometimes. Okay, we're 5 minutes in, and yeah, we are still just casually at full health. Yeah, check this out. See you later, buddy. So I guess the question is, do we want more overall damage, or do we want to buff up our return and our heal back here? Let's go for our Merciful and just try and get the damage of everything up here. Yeah, these green guys can totally swarm you here too. Here, come back, buddy. Oh yeah, it appears as though those ramming attacks don't count for the Desert Rose here, which is a little bit of a bummer. There were always one or two attacks in Act 2 that felt like didn't sort of proc it, but yeah, most of them do, as you can see. Okay, we got a magnet. I think we've scooped up just about everything here as it is. Let's keep going on it. I guess we should maybe take Retribution up so we can try to get the rank up on it. Yeah, maybe now that I think about it, we should do that. Come on, buddy. Oh, it's too entertaining, man. They just take a swing at you and they fall over. Yeah, it's always been my favorite build on Avaron, this one, and using the Desert Rose. It's definitely not like a high DPS build, right? I mean, this is the dude who keeps debuffing me. Get out of here. Get out of it. Look how slow we are, man. This is the maximum speed we're allowed to have. All right. We got faster again. Yeah, I don't know, there's still a lot of crowd control shenanigans going on. It definitely feels a little bit better overall because, you know, some of the changes they made from, like, enemy health and stuff does make it feel a little bit smoother. I don't know, I'm definitely noticing, now that I've played more of this patch, though, there are definitely some significant outliers still. Like, they didn't tone down stuff like Sloth or anything yet, right? Which I imagine they probably will do at some point. Okay, this is why we like Thorns. We can just casually let him... Oh, don't stomp me, dude. Spew on me instead. Okay, here we go. Yes, yes. Yeah, you could make a full-on Thorns build, so we might try doing that at some point. It does synergize pretty well with the setup here. The Thorns, but the second and third boss, they just don't have these same spam style attacks, right? So it's harder to stack up Thorns damage on them. It takes a lot longer. So to that end, we wouldn't mind getting our DPS a little bit higher before the final boss, but the problem is not going to be us dying. I'll just say that now. The problem is just how quickly can we actually kill them. Yes, keep spewing on me. Yes, yes. So the idea could be you pump up your attack damage, use Consecration, you put Thorns all over your skills or your gear slots, and then you try and build tanky. But the problem with that is you do also need a decent amount of like power damage to really pull it off. Dark Revenge, Turquoise Shell. You know, Dark Revenge is interesting, but let's go Retribution since we said we were going to do it. Okay, it just helps to keep us alive as we get tagged up by random things as we go here. But so I don't think the range attacks are counting unless but the problem is we're also like destroying them with our sword too, so it's kind of hard to tell. I could put my sword off. We can test it. Hey, buddy. Come on, shoot me. Nope, he dies. Beautiful. So yeah, ranged attacks still will make him die, which is perfect. Yeah, I think it's just our one enemy with his I don't know what you call it, like ram attack with the pole, the javelin thing. Seems to not proc it. Okay, experience gain per second. Armor. I don't want to take no advice from snails. I don't want to go negative movement speed. Gonna decrease our damage. We don't want that. Alright, we made it 9 minutes here in here already. We're barely gone under full health here. Kinda crazy. We'll see what the next few waves send at us. I'll show you the javelin enemies. Because they only seem to have that one attack where they ram you. It can be kind of difficult on some characters because, man, they come at you pretty fast and... yeah, someone with light armor only takes a couple hits and they go down, which is kind of brutal. Yeah, but you still need enough DPS in this patch, especially with those lighter armor characters, right? If you don't have big DPS on those characters, you're kind of screwed. What do we have here? I guess we could... I'll just take that. I don't know. Want a high level Breath of Fire if we're going to take it. I mean, I don't mind taking it for extra damage, but... oh, yeah, these guys. They just don't... yeah, they don't seem to proc it here. Yeah. And they don't have any other attacks as far as I'm aware. They just do this one spam attack. So the way to... the way to get through waves with these guys in it is just to walk away. Just straight up walk away. Because they can't actually do anything to you. You can sit there trying to face tank them if you want and, you know, slowly kill them. But then they'll respawn if you kill them within the same wave anyway. So it's just like, alright. You do you. I'll do me. I'll go shrine hunting. Ooh. That's a big attack damage. Let's go. What does that put ours up to? 1262, which is okay. I mean, nothing crazy, right? But it's okay. Yeah, if you stay too close to them, they do try and bully you a bit, but they ain't got nothing on our boy Avaron over here. So there definitely are some interesting tank builds that are possible in the game, right? The new bear, the bear form druid, so new character druid, I should say. The bear form, man, that has some very, very tanky things a bear can do. Avaron as well here can literally just out-tank all the damage coming at you. And then you have Current Boy, which is probably one of the most powerful characters at the moment in the game. I mean, this skill tree it has just about everything that you would ever need for Darkness 100 Act 3, right? Damage? We'll take damage. Yeah, crazy survivability. He gets huge damage boosts. He gets passive life regen too, which just synergizes with that unique so well. We could take Flare or we could take Breath of Fire. I mean, we can take either one here, right? You know what? I'm tempted to take a strike, just to have a strike over here. Oh, hey, buddy. He'll go down. Okay, these guys are still alive though, so they will try and bully me here a bit. We should let him kill it. Go down though. There we go. Alright, they will also despawn at the 14-minute mark if if we just run away, you know what I'm saying? Kind of hilarious. Alright. Yeah, as you can see, we're pretty tanky. Reprisals, alright. Retribution. We should try and get it leveled up so we can get a high level version of it. It would have been great to see a purple one show up, but yeah, we didn't get super lucky with the RNG in this run. You could also, you know, you could go a bunch of different gods too. I mean, you don't strictly have to take Justice. She just synergizes with the build super well, right? Mort, I don't mind taking. She's got some interesting stuff, like more XP gain is always nice. She's also got sudden death, which can actually be really useful for these enemies in particular, because the sudden death will just casually wipe them out after, you know, 20 seconds or whatever. So that's really nice. That is one option you can consider on this sort of build. I have tried to just go with stuff that'll help us with the bosses, really. So you could take War Pact. That would be really, really nice. Could even take some dash stuff as well. We could take a clone for fun. Let's take a clone. It's only a white clone, but you know. Okay. Oh, hey, buddy. Yeah, seems like that jabbing attack doesn't proc it for whatever reason, but the slice absolutely does. There's our clone. Hey, buddy. I think they could buff a clone too, like make it make it actually use your stats and stuff. I don't think it does. It certainly doesn't feel like it does anyway. All right, you can just. Oh no, not that attack, dude. Yeah, it's that one. There we go. What are we? We're almost to the second boss here. So second boss. Yeah, unfortunately the thorns don't work as well against this guy compared to the first boss. Okay. Sure, we'll take the firebolt there. And we got a flower or life regen. Okay, I mean life regen's pretty good there. Okay, this guy will disappear here in a second anyway. Okay, we got the Scarecrow. Just gonna sit on him, try and DPS as quickly as we potentially can, but we basically have no, I mean, very little damage output compared to some of the other builds in the game. I mean, especially compared to like the Kront build we did, where we just sat next to him for like 5 seconds or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so this patch overall has definitely got some more builds that are viable and interesting and stuff like that, I think. There definitely are some crazy allies still. Like we mentioned earlier, Sloth is pretty insane now. I mean, it was super strong before, but it's even stronger now because the overall, efficacy of the enemies has been toned down a bit, right? So, I don't know. It doesn't really matter if this battle takes like 5 minutes though. It won't take that long, but honestly, it doesn't matter. And the reason is because we don't have anything else to do until the 20-minute mark anyway. Not going to be able to kill him super fast. Even if we had like twice the DPS at this point, it would still take more than a minute, right? So I'm not too worried about that. And look, it's either this or we're just farming waves anyway. So it's like we could level up quicker if we were farming waves. I guess that's the the major advantage. But at the end of the day, the goal is to clear Darkness 100 with the build. So we'll see how we end up here. Just face tanking. Yeah, so by default, we already have like 70, what was it, 70 something % damage reduction. Then we got Pariah on top of that, which is another 20%. Which is pretty nuts, so I mean, if you really wanted to, I guess you could even stack Curse of Weakness from Act 2. Which sounds kind of like overkill, and it probably is, but it would make you pretty tanky. The thing is, I tried doing that on Maris, to be honest with you guys, just to see if a defense build would actually work. And man, she feels so bad. She feels so bad on a full defense stacking build because she has no DPS output and she's a glass cannon character, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So after we do this one, we only got Scardy left. So shout out to my man, I think it's pronounced Juice Blocks. He's given us some suggestions for Scardy using the heroic training, but using summons. He said he had this crazy weapon drop with like +7 summon count or something, which is kind of insane, right? I do not have any weapons of medium armor that have dropped with summon count on them. So I was looking through my stash and I just don't have any, so I can't do the exact same build, at least right now. However, I was messing around with heroic training today and it does seem like it has potential. My medium armor drops have just been not great for damage stats though, you know what I mean? Like, just haven't really been seeing anything that good damage-wise, and we're getting caught a little bit with not enough DPS in some of the runs that I was messing around with on Scardy. Okay, they have done a little bit of damage to us, but we are so tanky. We just heal it back anyway. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, so shout out to, I think it's pronounced Juice Blocks. If I got that wrong, let me know, dude. Yeah, well, so just earlier, before I recorded, I actually got a relic drop with +4 summon count. And I think it was maybe a jewel or something with +2. So we got a little bit to work with now. So maybe we might be able to pull off the summoning one. Well, I'll give it a go after this or tomorrow. And we'll see if we can get that one on the line. Sounds like a pretty interesting setup. Now, as you can see, these boss fights. It's hilarious. It's taking so long, but they just can't kill me. Oh. Yeah, some of these builds in this game are just, man. This is what I enjoy about Death Must Die, right? Is being able to come up with cool and creative builds that are like really, really fun. But can still overcome the challenge of, you know, the high darkness or whatever, right? Oh, we're getting slapped around here. Oh, holy crap. All right, that dinged us. Why are we so slow, dude? All right. I'm not against just popping a vortex right here. Why not? Dude, what was slowing me down so much? Holy crap. Yeah, crowd control mechanics. Still, still obnoxious, dude. Still freaking obnoxious on some of these runs, but hey. I didn't even see it coming either. All of a sudden I couldn't move, we're surrounded, and then this guy just jabs me out of nowhere and takes my revive. He must have done big damage right there. It's alright. Okay, we're pretty close to the end here anyway. So we did end up using one of our revives here, which, you know, it is what it is. Take a little bit of extra regen. That guy can just leave me alone, basically. He'll despawn here in a hot second. Yeah, so the tank defense builds have always been pretty interesting. I mean, this build was possible in Act 2, even when things were were like challenging before the procedural patch and stuff, right? This build was still possible. It was pretty tricky because you didn't have very many other ways to get ults and rerolls on your builds. There are more options now, so that does make it a little bit easier to pull something like this off. Restorative Pawn of Power, we can pick that up. Is that life regen? Maybe. Okay, one last magnet before we hit the boss. Okay, dude, just leave me alone. You're not welcome here. I'm having a dance with the Lady of the Lake. All right, come here. Yeah, so these boss battles, they're definitely not super fast, right? Depending on your playstyle. I don't know, maybe you find tank builds boring. I find it pretty fun, and obviously the boss battles take a while, right? I think the bear build we did have enough damage output that it didn't take too long, but it was still like 2 minutes or something for the Lady of the Lake. I can't quite remember, but the problem with the lady is she just moves around so much. It's I can't spend most of my time actually doing DPS. But as you can see, she has no chance of taking us out here. So we could technically just AFK it, but it's faster if we you know, chase her around here. Well, if you guys did make it to the end of the video, or near the end of the video here, smash like and subscribe for me. We are getting pretty close to 1,500 subs on the channel, which is awesome. Let me know what type of build or character you'd like to see once we've done all of the characters. We just have a Skadi build to do, and then we've done them all on Darkness 100, which is awesome. So then we can just start doing the silly, fun shenanigans builds that I come up with the good gear that I've found thus far. I have at least one on Lorien that I've been wanting to do for like 2 weeks now, but I was pretty busy. I went away for the wedding and all that sort of stuff last week, so... Okay, boss fight. This is hilarious, man. Come on, clone. Look how slow my clone... Why is my clone so slow? Maybe we could have added, like, another dash. Although we did take Vortex right towards the end. Come back. So just Vortex all over her, too. It helps out a bit. Come here, dude. Yeah, so let me know what characters you're interested in seeing. Any particular setup or build that is, you know, enjoyable, or maybe a gimmick that isn't using like Sloth or whatever. Would be cool. I don't mind using Sloth, but right now it just feels a bit silly. It feels like it has too many upsides, and the downside doesn't really feel like a downside to me. So it's just it feels like it has no downside, to be honest with you. Just being able to remove all the slots, like I said in one of my previous videos, being able to remove all of these slots, all the blessing offers for strikes, casts, all that stuff, thins out the pool so much that it's just like, it makes building a character just like super easy, easy mode. You can just get attacks to show up over and over and over again, and just boost up like that. Once they tone down the damage, I assume they're going to tone down the damage, because right now you can legitimately stack like 3,000% damage with it. If you put on some cooldown reduction, it's about 2,000 just at base without even having any cooldown reduction. It does ramp up over the course of the run, right? You're not getting it all up front, but to be honest with you, you don't need it all up front, because the run itself ramps up too, right? But the sloth ramps up and keeps you topped off with your damage the whole run, which is... It is pretty crazy. If you guys checked out the Nixie poison darts video, you saw how crazy the sloth can sort of help with stuff like those poison ticks. I mean, we were doing insane poison damage. Super fun. Yeah, so that item is definitely pretty crazy. So we won't use it for all of the builds. If there's a particular build that it super synergizes with, I think, you know, maybe we can, but... I do assume that they're going to do some unique balancing at some point, because some of the new ones are super insane, and some of the old ones just kind of suck in comparison. And obviously tier 1 and tier 2 are not going to be as powerful as tier 3 necessarily, but you look at some of the old uniques now, and he's like, man, just a normal mythic is way stronger than that. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. Yeah, so there's been some interesting discussion on builds and stuff recently. A lot of you guys have been commenting, telling me on what you've been doing, which is awesome. Feel free to let me know what sort of setups you got going on in the game. What's your favorite character? Like, what's your favorite build at the moment? For me, personally, I think the next one I might do is either the Lorian build that I mentioned before, which is like an attack bomber kind of build. Or I want to go back and finish the Dash Meris. We got that up to Darkness 90, but Darkness 100 was just, man, it just wasn't keeping up with getting constantly crowd controlled. Because it's a dash build, right? You need to be able to dash around, and man, just getting your dashes constantly debuffed on that sort of build is a little bit... It kind of sucks, we'll just say that. Alright, as you can see though, I mean, this is basically free. It's just going to take us a few more minutes here. Oh, yeah, so Meris has always been my favorite character in the game. Lorian is probably number 2, maybe? I enjoy Nixie's builds too. Nixie has some really fun builds. I'd say Skadi was always my least favorite. I think the Druid's cool. I want to try an Owl build too on the Druid. That I haven't done yet, so man. Problem with the game right now is a lot of builds that I want to do. But I wanted to get a build on each character done first. So I don't know. Let me know. If I can't get the Skadi one out super quickly, maybe I'll just do another one that I have cooking that I know is strong in the meantime. Man, this Avaron shenanigans though, he just doesn't care. He cannot die. We could just say AFK. I wonder, does that do extra thorns damage to it? But man, yeah, not much though, right? Do we let her run away and just let her spam us? Probably faster if we chase her around still. Sorry, we're almost on here. Yeah, I don't know. This one's gonna last like 28 minutes or something. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, that's the gimmick of the setup. It is to kill everything that touches you, but unfortunately, it doesn't work against the bosses. So you kind of have to have a way to either out tank them or out damage them. In our case, we're just out tanking everything, right? We only got up to level 18 in the run here too, because we were kind of running around node farming. And the problem is with a build like this, when the second boss lasts a long time, you don't have time to farm up more shards, right? More experience. It is what it is. It's a fun gimmick either way. Alright, you're almost down, lady. Come here. You ain't getting away. Nah, you ain't getting away. Again, you could put more thorns on. The problem with thorns in this act is the second and third boss, it's not that great against them. They're just not hitting you in consecutive damage instances enough to really take advantage. Like the frog boy, we just got through him relatively quickly, right? Okay, yes, we did it. Nice. Let's take some loot here. All right, we made it through. What was that in here? In like 28 minutes. This was a pretty long one. Well, if you guys made it to the end, I do appreciate those who stick through all the way through to the end of the video. All right. Pathetic damage on everything, basically. But we knew that was going to be the case. Ah, super fun. We'll just quickly have a look at the loot haul at the end of the video here too. If it'll load, I feel like the load times have increased a bit here as well. Okay, we got attack speed and master. Okay, this is really good. Attack speed, 48%. Master offers, 4.2 and 107. Nice. All right. We also got chance to heal on attack hits with attack speed. That's not bad. Not bad for healing. More masters. Yeah, that one's a bit average. Poison Nova might be all right for Maris, maybe? We could add that onto the dash build. Okay, we got a +2 count there. And we got another Black Lightning showed up. Okay. Cool. I already had that one, but it was a +4 projectile count, which is pretty good. +2 summon slots, summon damage. There we go. Alright guys, if you enjoyed that one, consider hitting a like and subscribe for me. I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy. I hope you all have a fantastic, amazing day wherever you are. Enjoy.